It's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattyson. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs. And everybody, welcome to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. I'm Jason Pattyson. We're here live at Torchy's Tacos in Rogers. I want to thank everybody in Razorback Nation for joining us. It's Thursday, June 28th, 2025. I want to say a special thank you to Marcus and Jonathan for their hospitality that they show us at each Torchy's location each and every week. That Fayetteville location is under construction right now. They will be opening back up at the 1st of August. But if you need your Torchy's fixed, be sure to come over here to Rogers and they will get you hooked up. You can always like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, which helps us grow. As we grow, we're able to provide more content, better content for you guys out there in Razorback Nation. You can watch the past shows from Otis, Dudley, Kevin, and Marshall. I want to say a special thank you to Carbless Cocktails. You can try any of their different flavors that they have. They got more than 9 now, so it's summertime, so they've got quite a few. A couple of my favorite are the Blood Orange and also the Watermelon. Those are both vodka drinks, and they also have the Tequila Margarita drink. It are also 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 100 calories per can. So you can pick those up here at Torchy's Tacos or at any of your major retail grocers. Be sure and stop by and try the Front Man. That is the taco of the month here at Torchy's. It is incredible. I have had more than a handful of them already. They're so good. This is the last Thursday that you'll be able to try it, and as of Monday, that will be the last day of the month that you can try the Front Man. Make sure to come by on Tuesday, and they'll get you hooked up with the new taco of the month. I don't know which one that is, so that's a little bit of mystery. And you can check that out at Torchy's on Twitter or on Facebook. Also, be sure to pair that or any of those great tacos on that board in the back with their house-made queso that's made fresh daily, and open up your taste buds to a whole new world. So, Otis is not here this evening. He is doing double duty coverage with for the papers and the NBA draft that's going on second round tonight. But I got somebody that is just as good as Otis, my friends. Got Jerry Meadows here. Jerry, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well, Jason. It's good to be with you tonight.
Oh, man, thank you for joining me. I know that it's been a little bit of a cluster, but I'm going to tell you what, man, we always get it always worked out in time, don't we?
Somehow, if you're patient enough, things will work out.
Always. I mean, and I want to go off of that for just a second, because I think that's a great lead into what we're about to talk about anyway. But whenever you have patience, things slow down, your mind slows down, you're able to concentrate, and you're able
Correct.
to not miss steps.
That's true.
And I think that's what this football team is starting to do. They're not as frenetic as they have been the last couple of years, knowing that the offensive line was not going to be as good as some people thought or hoped it would be. Now it is. Jerry, can you talk a little bit about that?
Jason, in my observation of the football team from this year to last year without a doubt, is the offensive line.
Yeah.
The offensive line, I believe, has the potential to make a world of difference in what we can expect from the Razorbacks this season.
I put up a a thread over on Hogville. You can check it out over at Monday Morning Quarterback. I said that the running game, the running backs, offensive line rooms are going to be accountable for at least 2 to 3 wins this year. Or I'm sorry, 3 to 4 wins. And that's either salting a game away at the end or making a score towards the end of the game to take the lead. I think that if they're able to do that, I do see them having a 7-win season before the bowl. If it doesn't, though, it might be Sam's job by the end of the season.
Things have to click this year. I was talking to Otis today, and I told him that I think that Arkansas can pull out 7 wins. I believe there's 5 that they should win. But I believe that because of the offensive line and with Mike Washington along with Braden Russell.
Man, those two are going to be some studs.
If they don't get hurt, one of them is I believe going to be 1,000-yard rusher this year. That is, if the offensive line lives up to what I have seen. And I just think really Arkansas last year, they had a lot of the pieces of the puzzle. The receiver core was wonderful. We had running backs galore. When we had an exciting quarterback that was coming. So the optimism offensively was just off the charts last year. And, of course, we ended up one of the best offensive teams in America.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that every quarterback that Bobby Petrino has coached, it's the second year.
Yeah.
It's the second year. They have to learn that system. But in the second year, they're fine-tuning. And I believe it's going to be interesting. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, but
that's exactly what I put on there too.
I am hopefully optimistic.
Would you be hopefully or cautiously at this point?
Well, I'm hoping.
And listen,
I'm throwing caution into the wind.
Jerry, you know this as well as I do. Otis can attest to this. Dudley can attest to this too. It's easier to write about a win than it is a loss because you're able to pinpoint spots where there was execution that was made, not maybe to perfection, but execution that was made to a win. And whenever you have a loss, it's easy to dogpile on certain things, spots, aspects, players, coaches.
Right.
But whenever you have a win, it's always easier to spread the love on who contributed to it. Offensive line, running backs, wide receivers blocking downfield, tight ends blocking downfield, those sorts of things. But whenever you have a win like this, if this can happen this year, is that it does make it easier on us, obviously, but it's easier on the fans. And the reason why I say it's easier on the fans is because the naysayers tend to get quiet a lot quicker than if there was a loss, and the folks that are still pumping the Kool-Aid are not as loud.
This afternoon, we got to meet and interview Remy, our new general manager.
Yes.
And one of the things that he spoke of was how comfortable he is with Sam Pittman, and how Sam has got this sense of humor about him that is refreshing, and you feel extremely calm when you're in his midst. And he said, there's none of us in Razorback Nation are wanting to lose. Most of all, Sam Pittman. And he said, we're not in this to lose. And if fans don't think that it just kills a head coach's heart whenever they do lose a game, then they don't understand football. I am still very hopeful and cautiously this time optimistic for Sam. I want him to do well. I really do. Because if he does, he has got the backcourt team that can sit there, I believe, can lead him a long way in competing, with the major college football programs.
You're mentioning Remy and his position taking over as the new and first general manager of the Arkansas Razorbacks. That really sounds odd, doesn't it?
I'll tell you something. Remy is a jewel. This guy he's the real deal. Man, I am really, really looking forward to see just exactly what he can do. And with collective bargaining now, there's $20.5 million. So let's just roll the dice and see what happens.
Yeah, Arkansas hasn't come out and said exactly how they were going to split that 20.5 up. I think that's more of a to be determined with Cofield, Hunter Yurchek, and all of the head coaches on the Hill. You know whose job is a lot easier when Arkansas wins other than Sam Pittman and ours? Remy Cofield's. You know why? Because he's the guy signing these guys.
That's it. One of the things that he said, I'm not here to make a big splash. I'm here to get the right people in the right fit for this program. He said, I want players to come here and stay. And that spoke volumes to me. Therefore, what he's wanting is he's wanting these guys to commit and quit running for every little shiny object that is swung in front of them by other programs. Somehow, the NCAA has got to get a grip on what's going on. I think in time they will. Right now, it's just a little bit chaotic.
I want to read a quick quote that Remy had regarding coming here to Arkansas. He says, initially I didn't think I would be, but I thought initially coming in from the pros, getting into the college landscape, this climate of things was a bit different for me. Working in the pros with the Celtics over the last 12 years, that's all I know. So I think coming down here and being a part of this, as soon as I got down here and started talking to people, it made it abundantly clear that it was a challenge that I wanted to take on. It was a challenge that I wanted to be a part of. The people that I have been introduced to since I've been down here, the people that are in the office that work hard every single day, that have held my hand through a lot, through this whole last 2 months here, made it easy. Made it easy to kind of be a part of this. And I say I made the right decision. That right there says that not only is he coming in with kind of ahead of the game because he's been being received well by the coaches. He hasn't had any pushback. If he has, he hadn't said it. But with the GM, you're not dealing with one coach. You're dealing with the whole damn athletic department at this point.
That's right.
All it takes is one coach to really put it, a little bit of a needle in the side to make it a little bit difficult if they don't get their way. I don't see that happening because he also said that he likes to be a chameleon in a way. He likes to be collaborative and work with different coaches. So not only is he working with different coaches, he's also able to manage personalities, and I think that's going to be really important for him at this point, at this job.
Well, he's got a multifaceted job description, and but I think that as in good a shape as basketball and baseball are right now, I think he can probably laser focus a little bit more on football, which has in the past always been the cash cow. And so hopefully he'll be able to get us to where we all want to go.
And you kind of think about it. Baseball, basketball now over the last 12 months have been kind of pretty steady. You don't have to really worry about too much. Both of those coaches, Coach Van Horn and Coach Calipari, have steadied their ship. They walked in. They knew exactly what they wanted. It's easier navigating 45 guys, 13 guys. Sam's got 85. And
yes.
that I think is a problem for him over the last couple of years, having to navigate coaches, having to navigate players, having to look at contracts, this, that, and the other. And it's not for 13 guys. I mean, if Sam had 13 guys, I think he would have a pretty decent handle on it. Not when you have 85. And yeah, I do believe that Remy was brought in specifically to help calm the football waters down as far as contracts go, because there's just so damn many of them.
Yeah, and what that does is that frees up multiple hours of Coach Pittman's time, and he doesn't and he doesn't have to come off as being the bad guy when things don't go well, because every negotiation you're always dealing with the human psyche. And sometimes things, it's not that either one of them are bad people, but they get stuck and then things don't go well. And Sam doesn't have to worry about that. He can really focus on football. And I'm proud for him because, I'll tell you this. Dave Van Horn this year did a masterful job of managing that baseball team. And my hat's off to Dave Van Horn. I was well impressed. Previously, I have not been so tickled, but I wanted to sit and give him his flowers. He did an awesome job. And I'll tell you what, you show me a coach that loves their players more than Dave Van Horn.
I don't think you're going to find one. You might find a couple on the hill, though. I mean, you might find Calipari. You might find Sam Pittman that equally love have.
We've got great coaches. We really do. And I'm just, it's going to be interesting with Travis Williams. This is going to be his third year. Now, I imagine he's about to figure out some things. And so don't be shocked in what that defensive team is going to be able to, how they're going to perform this year.
That's going to be a thing to look for too, because if you think back to spring practice, the first thing that it was really put out there was we need more depth at the defensive back position. We need more depth at the defensive line position.
Right.
We're not sure if we're going to get enough players that we need in the portal. Whenever you have those sorts of messages, it kind of starts to make you think, oh no, are we a little bit too heavy on the offensive side that we cut our nose off on the defensive side? Right. I think that Travis has got, I would say, probably too deep that he is pretty comfortable with. And I think that that's going to help, but I don't know exactly how that's going to materialize. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have nicks, bruises, and cuts and stuff that's going to keep you out for a quarter, a half, or a game. We see it every stinking year. That's where the depth might hurt, but I think that he's creative enough in that whole entire defensive side to maybe kind of, I don't know, offset some of those injuries and say, for instance, okay, well, we're down one or two defensive linemen. Okay, now we're going to go to a 3-5 or a 3-3-5, something like that. I think that he has the hosses to do that, but I'm waiting to see exactly how he's going to answer the bell when there's some adversity that happens.
Yeah, and every season, you're faced with adversity. And one of the shining moments was when we had, what was it? We got on to Tennessee. Was it 9-3? Was that the score?
I think it was. I think it was 9-3.
Or was it 9-0? I've had too much go under the bridge. But whenever we looked up and suddenly they score 14 points,
It was
and
boom.
we just got the breath knocked out of us, and suddenly, there was conflict in how they going to respond, and then Talon gets hurt, and it was just amazing to watch that game. How that a backup quarterback, backup running back, and they literally, that front line just made a way, and they went down there and scored the winning touchdown.
So, Malachi Singleton, he's moved on to Purdue with Barry Odom, as a couple of former Razorbacks have to as well.
Right.
But, that's one of the highlights, I think, of fall camp is not, and we've had this discussion before with whenever KJ Jefferson was here. We know who number one is. Who's going to be number two? You have Malachi fighting for a number two spot, and then he's left. The guy he was going against, he's left. Now you've got KJ Jackson. He doesn't have any competition, it seems like, for the number two spot, maybe. And I wonder if he might get a little bit more of the percentage of the reps during team with the ones to make sure that he's going to be ready if something like that happens. Because listen, I understand that Talon's put on weight, good weight at that. He's put on muscle, and at some point there's going to be a defensive lineman that's going to either accidentally fall into his knees, something of that sort. That's like happened last year, and you're going to have KJ come in. Those reps in fall camp are going to be extremely crucial, and I think that you might see that.
Well, they should, because as the old saying is, you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
And to be able to prepare for the worst, you not only have to have KJ, but you probably have to have Wilson prepared too, because both those guys are good. They're really good players. So go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead and finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Well, I was very disappointed in Madden. I liked him. I still do. It's just I'm sad that it ended up the way it did, because I really believe he could have probably seen some really quality playing time this next year.
I mean, I think that he might be better than his brother was, because
some believe that.
Yeah, because that was the knock on Nico, was once playing time, once SEC play, league play started, he kind of diminished a little bit.
He did.
His passing stats went, I wouldn't say through the toilet, but they were circling the bowl. That's for damn sure. And I don't know that would have been the case with Madden, but we'll never know, because now they're back over there playing on the West Coast in the Big 12 or Big 10, sorry, with Deshaun Foster.
Yeah, and what is he thinking? I mean, when he goes to play, in other stadiums, how many fans from from UCLA are going to be there?
I mean, I could see where there's like a UCLA, Ohio State, something of that nature. UCLA, USC. Those there's going to be fans that are going to show up for those games. But if you got Purdue, Northwestern, Rutgers, Penn State, maybe. I mean, I know that Penn State's great, but I mean, if there's a huge spread, those folks on the beach, they're not going to be going to the Rose Bowl. They're going to be hanging out at the beach and checking out the final score. How about UCLA got beat?
Well, wouldn't they end up having to play Michigan, Ohio State?
Yeah.
And how is Nico going to play in cold weather? Because it gets cold in Michigan.
Looking up I was seeing if Adu Thero has been drafted yet. He is not yet. I was getting some updates from Dudley there, but Yeah. So, really quick, going back to what we originally talked about with Remy Cofield, he's now on the Hill as the general manager, and how that's impacting football, because it's going to be impacting football more so than some of the other sports. I think that one of the hardest roads that he's going to have to hoe also is with Coach Music and the women's team, because there just has not been money there for the women's team for the last couple of years, and that's when you saw those 30-point blowout losses time and again last season. He does have some work not only with the football team but women's basketball. I think that those are the two biggest sports that he probably has identified as there's some things that we need to change in how we're doing business practice with these players so that we're getting the best fit, the right fit in at the right time.
Well, he needs to look into the softball team too, because, man, I tell you what, those girls are incredible. I've never seen, I never watched girls softball till this year, and man,
it's amazing, isn't it?
They're good. They're really, really good.
I've been writing for softball games since for the last 3 years now. So watching Courtney, 21-22 season until now, and watching Courtney and how she has developed her roster each and every year, there hasn't been really a downtrodden year. It's more reload. Last year, you thought that it was going to be a reload season with some of the players that they got from the portal, and they didn't hit. This year, on the other hand, she did hit on some of those. So right. I think that she kind of was identifying some of the things that you can learn from the season before last to this last season. And I think that that's what she's going to keep using moving forward, because eventually she has got to break that glass and get to Oklahoma City.
Well, I believe that girls softball in Arkansas is definitely on the move, and I don't believe it could be next year. They won't be an empty seat at that stadium, and those girls deserve it, because they played their heart out. I don't think I could hit their softball. And I had the opportunity to try out for the Cardinals, and of course I'm 72, but maybe in my mind I think I could. But those girls, the way they pitch that ball is just amazing. And I don't think I think if I got up, I'd strike out every time.
I'm gonna tell you what, yeah, it's extremely hard whenever you're moving it in, and it's doing so many things: rise, fall, curve, you name it.
Well, it's only 45 feet from you, and it's coming at about 70 miles an hour. So you don't have long to sit there, get that bat off your shoulder, do something with it.
It is, yeah. I'm trying to bring something up here. Go here. Hold on just a second. Because Steve Spurrier has made a splash again here this week with some of the thoughts that he had on NIL. I'm trying to pull that up because it was actually pretty intriguing.
Okay.
If I can find it here. Give me just a second, Jerry. Can you tell everybody about the this last story that you wrote here a couple days ago for Hogville?
Yeah. Whenever I was just doing an overview of everything that I had seen during practice, I began to, just analyze each part of the team. Where are we? As far as quarterback, I think we're in good shape. Running back, I believe we're better this year than we were last year. And primarily that is because of Mike Washington. People are going to be surprised with Mike Washington. I'm telling you.
That guy. Okay. It's been a couple decades ago. Larry Johnson, UNLV, came in here, and they whooped Arkansas. Larry
Right.
Johnson's famous for telling Nolan, "You need to go find some men because we just played a bunch of boys." Sam Pittman went out and found a man in Mike Washington. Not only does he look the part, he's fast and he runs the part too. I mean, he's not one of those north-south or east-west guys. He's a north-south runner, and he is going to fall forward to get you that extra yard or two. Kind of like Braylon Russell a little bit, but that's where you kind of fell short last year. That I think that this year, Mike Washington might be that secret sauce.
As much as I loved Jaquindon Jackson, unfortunately, Jaquindon was injured for a lot of the last season. But Mike Washington, I believe, is a definite upgrade. And it's not to speak ill of Jaquindon. It's just to praise how good Mike is. Because there's a tandem there. You got Braylon Russell, and now he's lost about 16, 17 pounds. Instead of carrying 253, he's now carrying about 238. And I believe he had stated that he wanted to be at about 230 by fall. So if he does, he'll end up being 23 pounds lighter. And how much faster is he going to be? So I think, the SEC will have their hands full with these two boys.
They are. And whenever you have a guy that drops that much weight, one of the first things that you go and you look at is, okay, how much more punishment is he able to actually give whenever he takes a blow? How much of a blow can he give? That's the first question whenever you lose that much weight in off season. 2, how much muscle did you put on to be able to absorb those blows so that you're not getting knocked out every 2 or 3 games? I think that that's one of the things that folks are going to have to watch out for, and with him splitting time with Washington in the backfield.
Yeah. And then we've got Rodney Hill.
Yep.
I mean,
AJ
come
Green.
on. Yeah. I mean, it was 2 or 3 years ago that AJ caught a pass, and I think it was against Texas A&M, and they hit him. He bounced off and then just went into the end zone.
Yeah.
And so any 4 of those guys behind that offensive line, to me, this is the best offensive line that I have seen at Arkansas since 2015. When
that's a big statement.
Yeah. They're that big. They're that good. And it's not 4 or 5 of them. It's about 9 of them.
Go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
I'd be thrilled to have any of the 9 blocking for me.
So Mike, this is what I want folks to look out for too, is halfway through the season, and we'll rehash this again too, but halfway through the season, what are your offensive line grades compared to the rest of the SEC? That will tell you exactly how well this team is going to do as far as finishing out the season. Because if they've got multiple guys that are grading out high, 3, 4 starters on the line, and you're starting to get some movement in the second halves of some of these games, that's where Sam has made his money, with developing guys during the season, not only the offseason, but during the season. And whenever you start to have teams that can kind of zero in on some of their technique and try to get underneath them a little bit more, or catch them off just a little bit off balance, I think that's where Sam has made his money as far as making those adjustments in the season. If you got 3 or 4 guys that are on watch lists, you're going to have a damn good season.
That is true. And think about the offensive line back in 2015.
Yeah.
And you'd had Bobby Petrino as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Wasn't that who's the quarterback back then? One of the brothers.
Was it Brandon Allen? I think it was Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, Brandon Allen and he's one of the toughest quarterbacks that's ever played at Arkansas.
Well, that's the thing too, is that back whenever BA was playing, there's been a couple of games where you're like, man, this guy's not going to get back up. He's getting the hell beat out of him back there. He's running for his life. And I don't think that was a 15 season, but there was a season or two leading up to that you did say that about BA, because he just didn't have the line. He did have the line in 15. And with you comparing the 15 line to this line, I really think that one of the stars that you're going to see is Shaq McCroy.
Absolutely. Well, Robinson from Georgia Tech is, oh my gosh, he's the real deal. I mean, and then so now you're able to shift some of the responsibility to some of the other experienced guys that played for us last year, because Robinson and Shaq McCroy, if Shaq McCroy can break into the starting lineup, think about that.
Yeah,
he's not a starter. I mean,
I think it's one of those things where he might not be the start of the first game, but then after game 2 or maybe 3, he's one of those guys that once he cracks the starting 5, he just won't leave.
Once he gets his opportunity, I mean, I'm excited for him, because all of the linemen will tell you, Shaq is 6'8", 375 pounds, but he's so quick. Yeah, he's so quick. So thank you, Oregon.
If there was, thank you for that. Well, and that's the thing too, is that it really came down between Arkansas and Oregon a little bit there at the end. And he did choose Oregon over Arkansas, and then really kind of didn't work out with Dan Lanning up there in Eugene and him coming down here. I know this is kind of an oxymoron, but I have never seen such a compact 370 pounds.
I know when you've got that much weight, they ought to be fat somewhere.
Yeah.
But you have to really look to find it. That boy. I mean, man, oh man.
Yep.
He's Dan Skipper on steroids. He's just 2 inches shorter than Dan. But I'll tell you this, that's a real mountain of a man.
That's a real grader right there. And then also with Carmona moving inside, I think that's going to not only help him at the next level, that's really going to help Arkansas, because now you've got an experienced edge lineman that's moving inside that can help make calls at the line of scrimmage as well, because he's seeing things from a different perspective than a normal guard does. He's seeing things from the outside that might help your because the three biggest spots are going to be your guard, center, guard. Arkansas has been eaten up in the past, and now this year I think that they have the experience at guard, center, guard to really make some moves on the running game. And that's why I made that post on Hogville, was because I feel like with those three coming into this year, that's where you're going to see your biggest gains.
Yeah, and again, if the offensive line just starts owning people, and we will know real quick where we're at when we have to go to Ole Miss. And that's going to tell us a lot right there.
That's going to be your litmus test for the first quarter of the season for sure, because then right after that, you've got Notre Dame. So,
yes. But if they take it to Ole Miss, and I think they can, look out.
That would definitely send some shockwaves if Arkansas was able to go down to Lane Train Stadium and go down there and make some moves. it could be real interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, Jerry, let's get you out of here. Thank you for jumping on with me this evening. I'm here live at the Rogers Torchies. The Fayetteville Torchies is closed until August for renovations. And so whenever they open back up, be sure to check those guys out down there on MLK. Well, Jerry, again, thank you for jumping on this evening. It was a little frenetic there the last 10 minutes, but man, we got it done.
You know, Jason, it is really a privilege of mine to be able to be with you, and I enjoy every moment we get to spend together.
Likewise, my friend, likewise. So for Jerry, myself, Jason, I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us this evening, and go Hogs.
Go Hogs.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos and college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattyson. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.